Oh, can you? Okay. So I'm going to start up here and then drop one there and then to my ankle. Now the ankle is going to be, uh, you don't want to go too low with it. Let's try there. And then I'm going to call this upper leg, lower leg, and then finally I'm going to call this ankle. And same thing as with the arms. Same thing as I'm going to take the top upper leg here. I'm going to move into my side view and I'm just going to pull this back a tiny bit so it's in the center of mass there. Um, and again, I'm going to take my lower leg and I'm going to make sure it's all zeroed out here. So I'm going into zero out the joint orients here. That's all zeros across rotate and joint orient. And then what I'm going to do is just take it and rotate it. Am I happy with the height here? I actually think that I want to be up a tiny bit more than that. Like I can see the bottom of the knee here, but what I want to do is kind of pull this forward a bit like that. And then I want to take this one and then pull it back a bit like that. And then the ankle, I feel like I can just drop it down a tiny bit, maybe to there. And then how does this look from the front again? Um, I feel like the ankle is not quite in center of mass, so I go to the top bone here, and then I just kind of rotate that so that my ankle's in the center of mass. Now this is a pretty easy leg to get set up. It's not causing us too much trouble. I did kind of lose the center of mass in the knee here. So again, maybe what I'll do is just maybe I'll place that first, and then I'll just try rotating along the primary axis on the top bone here to get that bottom ankle in place. That looks a little bit better. Again, just splitting the difference here. Oh, and one thing I didn't check when I set up the leg was I didn't go to display, transform display local rotation axes, and my upper and lower leg are fine. If I go to my ankle here and just drop a 0 in there, that should be fine. Um, yeah. So again, to keep this planar, we want a single translate and a single rotate at all times. And what I'm going to do with my upper leg is I'm just going to modify and freeze transforms. And you'll see that my lower leg, it just drops down. So I've got a single translate here and a single orient down here, joint orient. And yeah, if you need to, you can go and you can use the skeleton and orient joint options. And this time you'd set X positive as your world orientation. And now to connect this with the lower spine, I'm just going to take it and drag it under spine. Actually, you know what? Um, I actually want to have a hip bone that's going to be a child of spine 0, and then the legs are going to attach to a hip bone. And the reason I want that is sometimes you want to move your spine independent of your hips, like or you want to move your hips independent of your spine. Sometimes you want to rotate the hips around, and then you want the spine staying straight. You know what I mean? So all I'm going to do is take spine 0, and I'm going to go Control D to duplicate that. And I don't want anything below it. I just want that one single bone kind of duplicated. And I'm going to rename this and call it hips. I haven't capitalized anything else, so I won't start now. Hips. And then I'm going to take my lower leg and make it a child of hips. And then I'm going to take hips and I'm going to make that a child of spine. No, hang on. Yeah, spine 0. Do I want that as a spine 0? No, 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 no. Let's do this. Let's create a root bone at the very bottom here. So let's just create a new bone, And holding X, I'm just going to lock this to, I'll go into front view and I'll just hold X and drop it right in between the legs here. So there's my root bone. And what's that? That's a root. And I'm going to drop my spine under the root. Oh, hang on. I was capitalizing spine, neck, and head. Okay. I gotta get a program going here. I'm gonna maybe go with caps here. Root. Okay. And now I just put root at the very center of the world, between the two legs, basically, if that makes sense. So I've got a root there, and it's just going to spine 0. And then I'm trying to decide if I want the hips to be attached to the spine. I think I do. So I'm going to go hips underneath spine 0, like that. There we go. And now if I take hips here, have a look. If I take my hip bone and I hit E here, oh, sorry, if I take my hips and I've got E selected, I'll be able to rotate my legs around like that, which is what I wanted. You'll find this really important when you get to animating the legs and getting that hip motion in. What I'm going to do is take spine 0, and I'm going to go in the side view here. I'm not 100% happy with where I started my spine, so I'm going to just take it and actually I want to take the hips at the same time and just kind of move those down a tiny bit. And I should be able to just take D here and just move that kind of down there somewhere. Just positioning these again. Again, D, if I hold down D, I can position without affecting the chain. All right. So that looks okay to me. I feel like my hip is just a little bit low. So I'm going to bring that guy up a tiny bit. Not my hips, my upper leg here. So I'm holding D, and I'm just going to come through and bring that up a tiny bit more. What does that look like now? All right. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. All good. Okay, we'll end it there.